This pandemic has caused a lot of people to rethink or redefine what their retirement will be. And for some, they want to retire early, but they're not really sure what some of the questions are, what some of the pitfalls are. And in this video, I want to share with you, if you're thinking about this, some of the costly mistakes to avoid, and I'll share with you some of the conversations we have with our clients so you don't step on those landmines as well. But before we get there, subscribe to my channel. I have over 30 years of experience in this business talking with my clients. I want to share that information with you and hit the notifications bell so you're alerted to when we post new videos. So I mentioned the pandemic, and in my recent book, Don't Outlive Your Money in Retirement, I really wrote this book, which was my fourth book, by the way. And believe it or not, I promised after the first, the second, and the third, I would never write another one again. But this pandemic compelled me to write this because it really was a glimpse for many into what retirement might look like, right? We didn't have a place to go to work. We didn't have anywhere to go. We were home with our spouses 24/7. For some, that worked out very well. For some, not so much. But it really started to bring a different perspective to many people as they started to think about what that next chapter in life might be. So for some, they might think of early retirement as paradise, right? I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to be told what to do. I can do what I want, when I want. I can get out of bed. I can go play. I could do anything I want. But that paradise, for many, may only last for a short period of time, days, weeks, months, because then reality sets in. And that's what I want to talk about. How to structure this in such a way that you can capture some of that paradise and be truly fulfilled if you do decide to retire early. So there are 6 questions that I'm going to address, and I'm going to use a hypothetical couple, okay? He's 50 and says that he wants to retire at 55. He's married. His wife is a few years younger than he is. She is working. The 2 kids are in high school at the moment, and they're asking the question, can I retire early? So there's 2 major fears that we talk about with our clients. One has to do with money, and the other has to do with everything else. And the first fear with regards to money is the fear of running out of it, that will outlive our money. We're living longer. The money has to work harder and longer. Will we be able to pursue our retirement goals for as long as we wish to? Will the money be there? The second fear is, so what do I do for the next 35 years? It's a long period of time. So I'm going to address both of these in these next 6 questions. So the first question or issue that you have to deal with is, you must, if you have a spouse or partner, have a conversation with them. This is a whole new role, a whole new dynamic, a whole new set of issues that you hadn't dealt with for many, many years. The kids could be out of the house. Again, going back to the pandemic, it's just the 2 of you. You need to be able to define your roles. Who's going to do what, when, and where? How long is she going to be working for after you retire? And how will that impact the way that you live with each other? I have a particular client. He retired, I guess, about 7 or 8 years ago. He's been doing some consulting, and his wife is about 10 or 12 years younger than he is. She has continued to work because she's fulfilled by that work. She gets a good income from that work. It gives her something to do. It gives them two independent lives. They do have enough money. We did do the planning. They're all set on the money side of things. But this is how they constructed their lives after having a conversation with each other that was necessary to identify how this next stage of life is going to be. Now, the second is cash flow. That's a big deal, right? Cash is king in retirement. It's all about defining that income. And for this couple, they had about $1 million in their retirement accounts and another couple $100,000 in taxable or cash. So the question becomes, if he's going to retire at 55 and she's going to continue to work maybe till she's 60, putting him maybe, into his mid-60s before she's retiring, right? If they need income from the retirement portfolio, how do you get it out without being exposed to too much in the way of taxes or penalties? Most people think of the age of 59 and a half, right? That it is at that point in time that you can avoid the 10% withdrawal penalty if you take money out of your retirement accounts, which you can at 59 and a half, and just pay taxes on the amount that that's being taken out. Well, there's two things you could do here, right? One is you could plan for the future in terms of taxes, and you may look at and talk to your accountant about converting some of your retirement accounts to Roth retirement accounts, where you can have the money continue to grow tax deferred, but take it out tax free later. Now, there may be a cost to you for doing it now, so you have to crunch those numbers to figure out if now is the time to do it. Because if you wait 10 or 15 years to do it, when you really need the money, it's going to be too late then. The other is an obscure ruling within the IRS code. It's called Section 72T. It's the ability to take money out at the age of 55 or even less, depending on your circumstance and how you construct it, in such a way that you can take the money out of the IRA or 401k over a systematic basis onto at least the age of 59 and a half, so at least 5 years, avoiding the 10% early withdrawal penalty. Still getting taxed on the amount that you're taking out, but you do avoid that 10% penalty, which could be very costly. So check into that with your accountant or your financial advisor. The third item to consider is Social Security. Now, it may be a little early to be thinking about it now, but you need to be planning for it, particularly in this situation where she may not be retiring until he's in his mid-60s. And think about this in terms of stage life and stages of income, because in your 60s and 70s you may want or need that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 of income you're getting from Social Security, but there's 567 different Social Security strategies to employ. If you choose the wrong one, it could cost you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over your household lifetime in terms of income. And as I mentioned, I have the new book, right? The second chapter is devoted strictly to Social Security. So go to the banner, click on free chapter. I'll get that to you. It has some worksheets, some frequently asked questions, so you'll have some more clarity with regards to which Social Security strategy you should take. It's a very important component in the overall design of your cash flow need in the future. The next item, the fourth item, it's dealing with money, because it's something that's going to be really, really important for you. How much risk should you take on the portfolio? Now, I can go into this for hours. I know you don't want me to do that right now. We're going to keep this short. But if you do want to learn more about it, go to this video. I spend some time there, not hours, just minutes, so that you can better understand how you should take the appropriate amount of risk. We call it the personalized investment benchmark. It's not something you hear from a lot of financial advisors, but it's how, when you go to retire, particularly early, how you need to be thinking about how much risk is necessary so that you try to overcome that fear of not outliving your money. The fifth question or issue you need to deal with, again, on the financial side, I want you to go to your accountant. You know, typically when you go to the accountant, it's like April 14th, right? Help me with this, let's get this done, and let's look last year to find out where the income came from. Let me write that check to see so we're all square with Uncle Sam, right? And I'll see you next year. But the reality is the value of having that accountant on your side is also looking forward, not just backwards. So talk to your accountant. Share with them what you're thinking of doing and what the tax implications are depending upon where the cash flow is coming from, so you can keep more of that income. Because not only right now are we facing inflation and the very real potential of higher interest rates, but we also have the potential for higher tax rates. And if you're not incorporating those higher tax rates into your planning assumptions, you're going to miss the boat. And this irrevocable decision that you have may end up being very costly. Now, the sixth one, which is a really big one, okay? It has really nothing to do with money. What do I do the rest of my life? How do I replace the business culture? That's really the key, because this is the conversation I have with many of my clients, many of my friends who financially they're all set and they go, well, what am I going to do today? Where am I going to go? Well, I just had breakfast and I have a doctor's appointment later on and I'm playing golf later on, but what do I do tomorrow and the next day? You see, going to work is more than just a paycheck. It's structure. I know each morning I need to get up at a certain time. I need to go to breakfast, get dressed. I'm going to be at the workplace talking to colleagues about what happened last night, either in the sports or political world or the headlines. I'm a part of a community. I'm respected for helping it grow. I have an identity. This is particularly true for those of us who are business owners. Our identity is our business. Once you retire, how do you replace that? And it takes time. So it's really important for you to have that conversation, go back to your spouse or partner, and talk about what is going to bring us joy, what is going to bring us that reward, that fulfillment that we need, knowing that we've successfully accumulated that nest egg we need that will get us through the rest of life financially. What we can do so that we are going to feel complete, that we are going to move on knowing we are making an impact, we are creating a legacy, we are creating wonderful memories, and it's going to be joyous. As a part of that, make sure you take a look at our playlist on 7 steps to not outliving your money.